So the barriers to entry, in my opinion, and the government are moving in the right direction, in my opinion, trying to remove the red tape. But there was a lot of red tape in basically energy providers or independent power producers being able to provide electricity to the public. What's happening now is a lot of those things are being deregulated, which is great, but it still doesn't solve the problem of the grid. We still need to solve the problem of grid capacity. So even if we are allowed to engage with each other as private sector and be able to sell electricity to each other, the trouble is still how do we transfer electricity from point A to point B if there's no grid capacity, or if the load can't be maintained, something like that. So the current condition of the grid, I think, is one of our big holdbacks in South Africa. And that's now at a more national scale and national energy generation. Then I like to talk about the second one, which is probably more local or privatized generation, and that's mainly in the form of solar panels. So solar panels on residential roofs. I think I see the market developing quite well from a technical development or technical skills development, but I think we should have a good program running where we promote the electricians to go for the training that's required to be able to install these solar panels on residential houses and be able to sign that off. And really try and create a new sector, a mini sector within the renewable energy sector that focuses on residential installations. And once we sort out the skills, the more skills there are, the more supply there is in the market, you may find that the price comes down for the installation cost as well. And it's not a couple of big corporate companies that only have the skills to do these things. So that would be element number one, but element number two is also the financing thereof. So most people won't have 100 to 200,000 K in their bank account just to install this system on their roof. So I think the banks can maybe come to the party as well, and maybe we can understand a better system as to how we finance this. I do know that there are a couple of products in market already where the guys will install projects and you lease from them, or the guys would buy, finance it, and you pay it off over time. So those market elements are already developing. If we can develop it even further and on a more broader scale, I think the uptake might be high. And the last one is, I think, and this is probably my personal opinion, but I think we need to reduce our reliance on China. So at the moment, the Chinese obviously have a massive advantage in the production of solar panels and solar kit. And I think as a government, we should look at how we can incentivize the local development of a solar manufacturer and promote that in South Africa and local supply. Whether it's with incentives of building the plant or buying local, we need to definitely look at that. But in the meantime, while we sort that out, we can actually look at tax incentives to incentivize the private sector, residential sector to move in that direction. Because the capacity of electricity generation that's available just on the roofs at our homes are massive. And it's directly to the end user if you think about it. Yes, you can grid tie and push into the grid, but if we can move largely, have the generation equipment closer to the end user, there's a lot of costs being cut out in the middle and a lot of less logistical and admin processes that actually deliver electricity to the broad public.